Hello, Eiffel Beauties. Ashley here, and I'm here with my very good friend Kristen Jensen. For those of you who know Kristen yet, she's a former Ford model, photographer, content creator, video director, and so much more, and my personal friend and mentor. And I've had the opportunity to work with Kristen for years on many shoots. So if she's been an inspiration to me, she'll definitely be an inspiration to you. So Kristen, how are you today?
I'm doing actually pretty good today. I'm having a good day.
We got to do the best we can under this, circumstances that we're living
Yeah.
in right now.
This is tough. This is tough. This is not easy stuff. Uh, I'm taking things in 24-hour intervals. I just find it easier than trying to project too far in the future right now. I just find that when I can handle 24 hours or 2 days or 48 hours is like bumping it up. But I think we all just have to take it really easy and love ourselves first so that we can love one another and have the compassion that we need right now.
And I think that's just a really good way to put things, because I feel like we're living in uncertain times that it's easy to just kind of get caught up. Um, your modeling career, tell me about being a Ford model.
I didn't know I was going to be a model. My mother sort of talked me into it, and I entered a beauty contest when I was just turned 18. I didn't win, but I was sort of discovered, so to speak, then. And I wasn't discovered by Ford then. Actually, I learned about Ford much later in my career by working in Europe, and then was scouted by Ford models. But it was an aspiration of mine once I got into the business. It was a very prestigious thing to do. I started working when I was 18. I went to Paris to do the collections, and basically I never came home. I mean, I came home, which was California, just to pack my bags and go back to Europe again and travel. And I did all kinds of stuff. I did a lot of runway in the beginning. I was a nervous wreck. I mean, so nervous to the point where, I lost my top once and I freaked. I lost my shoe on the runway. Things happened, and I was very nervous. And then I moved into print and advertising, and then eventually into a huge catalog market, which doesn't sound very glamorous, but it actually kind of was.
No, that's. I remember you used to call you guys the catalog queens, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
catalog queens. That's
Yeah.
super cool. And I've seen your modeling photos from those days, and they're beautiful. And it's a part of the modeling industry that I don't think many people know about.
No, I think everybody thinks that, there's a handful of superstars, right?
Right.
Just like in any business or any profession, and with athletes and with movie stars too. There's a handful. And then there's the working people, the working actors, the working models. And there's a lot of us. And I met lots of great people and photographers. I traveled to over, I think I counted 34 countries.
That's amazing.
And all because of just my modeling career.
You left home at 18 and you kept on traveling and, modeled on different countries, and just what did you get any life experiences that you feel has shaped you to who you are today?
Oh my gosh, it completely shaped me for who I am today. My eye, my aesthetic, my taste, my longing for beauty. I saw a lot of beautiful things in people. I was able to go to amazing museums and see architecture and see design. I worked with fabulous photographers that taught me about lighting, every single kind of lighting you can possibly imagine. It shaped me as a traveler. I think traveling is amazing for people if you have the opportunity, especially young people, to travel. It's life-changing. You see the world from a different perspective.
Yeah, I feel like even myself, I've traveled to quite a bit. Every time I travel, you change as a person. We see somebody else's culture, somebody else's way of living. It humbles you, and you also change. And I definitely think that what you're saying is absolutely true. You mentioned a little bit that you had photographers teach you about lighting and different things. Was that what, motivated you to become a photographer?
Oh, totally. Yes. Back when I started, everybody used a light meter before they made cameras with light meters built into them, which light meters is still great. If anybody's interested in photography, buy a light meter. But there were light meters really at my face every day. for so many years, for 20 years. And I learned about f-stops, and I learned about shutter speed, and photographers and assistants taught me. And then I started just hanging out with the photographers and the clients at lunch, not just the models. And I would sort of pal around with them and then suggest ideas for shooting. And they go, you're really good at this. You have a good eye. You should think about this. And so after hearing that hundreds of times, and it took that many times and a big kick in the butt for me to actually try it, because I was sort of afraid of doing it. I didn't think I could do it. I didn't know if I had the confidence, but I had amazing, amazing mentors.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love, hearing your experiences as a photographer, what made you get there. But I know every time I go to your house, I see an amazing wall of all these celebrities that you have, photographed. Did you ever have a moment be like, is this real? Am I really living this experience of, a certain experience or a celebrity that you photographed that was just like, oh my goodness?
I think that I've never been really, honestly, I'm not super starstruck, because I just think people are people,
Mhm.
So I'm not like super in awe, but when I photographed Demi Moore, I was a little nervous. I was, even though she was like amazingly cool and super sweet to me and down to earth. I was like, wow, this is her. I'm
Mhm.
doing this. So yeah, you get the butterflies a little bit, but then you get over it because you technique and you got to get the shot done. And I find that working with celebrities or very high profile people, they don't have a lot of time, right? I mean, maybe you've done makeup with people in celebrity, they're just like, hurry up and get it done. They don't have a lot of time. So you've got to make them feel, not be rushed and not do a good job, but you've got to really be on your game and know your light, and also be able to handle working with people that are really stressed and under a lot of pressure. So not really starstruck, and not just a little bit of butterflies, I would say, on that shoot.
And I saw the image of Demi Moore. She looks amazing. And, it's one of those images that you feel what she's feeling in that moment. It's just, it has so much passion. And I think you definitely brought that out. You did an amazing job. And so you, had all this training from different photographers and, they really helped and shaped you. Was photography something that you were like, oh, this is gonna be my profession after this, or was there any other entrepreneurial aspirations that you had?
Oh my gosh, I had no idea what I wanted to do when I grew up. I was like, modeling just kind of happened, and it was like a fast train, and I jumped on it and it took off, and it led me into a lot of directions and with a lot of opportunities. Um, it is glamorous in many ways, but you're by yourself a lot. I mean, you're not out partying at night and staying up late. You have to get up early. You have early morning calls. So the life is not, probably is what people, the cliche of what people think it is, isn't really like that when you're working. It's not possible to sustain that kind of craziness. You have to be very disciplined. Modeling led me to one thing, and then I got into acting, and I studied acting for 7 years, and I did a couple guest star parts. I did a movie. Worked on a soap, and I dabbled with acting a little bit. I was a little tall. A lot of the actors are shorter than me. I'm almost 5'11", so that was a little bit of a challenge. But I really found that my calling was for this side of the camera. I vacillated. I love interior design. I like any kind of design, actually. So I sort of toyed around with that for a little bit. And then I worked with a career coach, which I highly recommend for anybody that's not really 1000% sure about what they want to do, is to work with somebody that helps them discover what they want to do. And that's what I did. And I worked with somebody out of New York City at that time. This is back in 2002. And I remember writing down the pros and cons of being a photographer and then going and taking a nap. And I wrote it down, and it was like super long for pros and like this much for cons. And so it was so blatant and right in front of me. It was like, just go for it. So that's what I wound up doing. But I think a lot of times we don't know, a lot of us don't know really quite what it is. And, a lot of us have multi-talents. And so we're not really sure what area to put it in. but working with a career coach really helped. One thing in life I found for sure is change.
Change is a
That's
constant.
pretty much guaranteed.
Absolutely. And I
Yeah.
think about, you're so passionate about what you do. I feel like you almost have that career coach in you. You've helped me so much in my own career, and also you've thrown a lot of opportunities my way that I really am grateful to you, Kristen. And so,
You've
um,
helped me, Ashley. You've helped me. You know that. This has been like a total win-win kind of relationship because you've helped me too. And you're an amazing makeup artist and hairstylist. You've done my makeup. We've worked with so many clients together and been on shoots, and it's always a pleasure. You make me look good.
oh, thank you, Kristen. You're so sweet. I really appreciate your kind words. And just because my channel is beauty, do you have any beauty tips that you have used over the years that are a go-to?
Oh my gosh, I have a couple beauty tips. I've been using vitamin E oil, like the highest potency vitamin E oil that I can find at CVS or any drugstore. And then I take a little bit of lavender oil and I mix it in there. And I mean, just a drop or two, just because vitamin E oil doesn't smell that great. And I smother it all over my face and neck every single night. And I've been doing that for 2 decades. That's kind of my one beauty secret. The other thing is I drink a ton of water. I always have. I love water. I always have water with me. I always have some kind of crazy bottle of water. It's next to my nightstand. It's at my desk. It goes in the car. The third thing is sleep.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Sleep
That is
is
such a big one.
like mandatory. And I tell you, going through all this that we're going through right now, in this crisis that we're in, it's tough, to find good sleep and really solid sleep and not worry about things. So I think sleep, water, and something for your skin, just a basic routine. I don't think it has to be elaborate.
Mm-hmm. And I think if it's something simple, you're going to stick to it. Last question is, if you could go back to your late 20s, early 30s, what would you tell yourself?
Late 20s, early 30s. That's such a great age. that's like you're at the just peeking into your power, right? I'd probably give myself a good kick in the butt and say, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it. I think we second guess ourselves. As women, we second guess ourselves. We compare ourselves. We don't think we're good enough. We don't think we're ready. Today, now's the time. Now, today. Don't postpone joy. Just go for it.
That's wonderful, Kristen. And you've been my personal mentor, you've been my personal coach, and a lot of what I'm doing in my career, it's because of you. So what I want to tell all my girls out there, find a mentor and just do it. That's the recipe of how you're going to make it in life, in general. So just do it. That's it. Thank you so much for letting me interview you. Please, I'm going to put in the description below links to Kristen so you could go follow her, and we'll be doing another interview coming soon, and you'll be able to learn a little bit more about her. So thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Be safe.
Be safe. Ciao, ciao. Bye.
Bye.